In 1295, Marco Polo said,
"Gold is everywhere in China."
China then became the dreamland for all the adventurers. Nowadays, China is becoming a dreamland for many filmmakers too. But is this really the case? Today, let's learn something about China's film market. China has 1.3 billion people. That's 4 times the population of the United States. With a smaller population, the United States has almost 40,000 cinema screens, while China has more than 18,000. Of those 18,000 screens, only 144 of them are IMAX. That's less than 0.8%. In the United States, each screen is shared by 7,500 people. But in China, 90,000 people share each screen. Even though China is adding 10 more movie screens a day. To reach the US level of screen density per capita, China will have to build an additional 150,000 screens. Talk about a huge potential. In 2013, China's box office increased 31% to $3.59 billion. Currently, China is the second largest film market in the world. Last year, China's IMAX films contributed $114.03 million. Even though IMAX theaters make up a smaller percentage of the total number of Chinese theaters, they account for a significant amount of film's box office revenue. For instance, Gravity's IMAX version contributed 21.38% of its national box office, Star Trek Into Darkness with 14.56%, and Pacific Rim with 14.14%. China screened a total of 305 films last year. Foreign films accounted for just 19%, but check the box office share. China has $3.59 billion in total box office revenue. China-made films took 58.68%, and foreign films took in 41.32%. That's a lot of money. Because of China's growing market, everyone wants to get a share, but it's not that easy. Along with the rise of China's economy, its film industry is booming. It has 16 major studios, including the world's largest film studio, plus 32 major distribution companies. Among these companies, one is very special, the China Film Group Corporation, the largest film company in China. It's the only importer of foreign films and also a major exporter of Chinese films. The president of the CFGC, La Peigang, is the most powerful man in China's film industry. If you want to import film to China, you need to know the Huaixia Film Distribution Company as well. Huaixia and CFGC are the only 2 companies that have the rights to distribute imported films. Both companies are state-run, controlled by the government. The State Administration for Radio, Film, and Television dictates the terms under which films can be produced and distributed. For theatrical releases, this monopoly dictates the number of films that will be imported, when the films will be released in China's market, and the compensation paid to foreign films producers. Hollywood releases over 600 films per year. To import such films to China, there are 2 methods: revenue shared and buyout movies. Buyout is when a foreign movie is acquired by a local Chinese distributor at a fixed price to be released in China. Usually, local distributors make deals with foreign producers first. Then, the distributor submits the movie to the China Film Group for the import license. After that, the distributor hands the movie over to the China Film Group or Huaixia Film for distribution. In 2013, China allowed 23 buyout movies. Only 11 of them were from the US. That's not a big number. The other method to export foreign movies to China is revenue shared. Before 2012, China only permitted the release of 20 big foreign films a year. For each movie's Chinese theatrical gross, the foreign supplier can only receive 13%. Beginning in 2012, China allowed an extra 14 films, but these films had to be in IMAX or 3D. The share of the box office increased to 25%. Yummy! Though some may think this is still not a good deal, co-production will be the best choice for them. 3 factors are driving international interest in movie co-productions. China now has the 2nd largest box office in the world. Official co-productions are outside of China's quota for foreign films, and they can take 43% of the box office, a huge increase. To be considered a real co-production film, Chinese partners need to provide more than 1/3 of the total investment. Chinese actors or actresses must play at least one of the main characters, and most of the shooting should take place in China. Even though China is strict to foreign films, China's film industry is growing fast. Industry analysts estimate that the Chinese box office could yield $5 billion in value potential for Hollywood studios by 2017. Others project that China will become the world's dominant market by 2020. So, what are we waiting for? From now on, focus more on China, and you'll definitely get your payback.